Yo, it's the word. Full time father podcast, man. We here and we are here to inspire per usual. You know what I mean? I mean this tripod out the way. Oh, my bad. But we have a very beautiful and dope guest on our platform today. She is a repeat offender. She's been here before. It's not her first time. We did a session. That was actually one of my dopest sessions because she let me pull up on her because I was having Wi-Fi issues. So then we ended up pulling up. We was in the car with it. It was real dope. Early full-time father days. You know what I'm saying? But Big Dog been supporting the homie ever since. So and before that was some other stuff. But um go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, man.
Okay, hello. My name is Shaneka Smith. I am a known Rockfordian, as they should say. I have a few businesses in the community right now. I'm an entrepreneur. The last 10 years, I own Rolling with Shirley's Egg Rolls, which provides 100 different type of egg rolls. I
Uh,
I own Shirley's Catering and Treats. I also have a nonprofit organization that I have had the last 8 years, which helps the homeless and low income people in the community. Um, I also started a side. It's a hustle that's probably turning into a business. I named it Gladys Gifted Hands. I actually make money bouquets. Um, I'm very crafty and creative. Make diaper bouquets. So, I got my hands dipped in kind of a lot. I volunteer a lot in the community at the shelter. I do various different things around the community. I'm a mother of two. I have two dogs. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
I love it, man. Yeah, she definitely part Jamaican. Big
And
dog be working, man. I love it, man. It's inspiring for sure, for sure.
thank you.
Um, for sure. So we here to for the I've been working on my big words, y'all. I'm gonna say this shit and I hope it go through smoothly. So let me try it again. Hmm. We are here to hear Miss Smith biography.
Hmm.
Said that
Hmm.
shit right. Got it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. We are we are here to to hear a life story. My bad. My daughter was in here eating. She about to walk out. Man, show my daughter go. Y'all finished that laundry, Parker? Yeah, yeah. Gotta get the babies together. Right. So, big dog. Let's go from the beginning, man. What was your childhood like? What was your upbringing?
My childhood was very interesting. I have one sibling, and my mom was a single mom. She raised both me and my sister while both our fathers were incarcerated. Um, she's the only girl of seven brothers.
Mm,
So I have many uncles. But me and my sister grew up with a single mother. Like I said, my mom, she was a hardworking woman. She raised us. She was very strict on us. So we could go to school, we were the type to go to school, had to stay in the house, when mama was at work, we could come out, when mama came home, very strict on us as far as our social life. She kept us kind of close at home. She was one of the moms. You can't have a boyfriend till you're 16, 17. Can't wear makeup till you're 16 and stuff. So my mom, instilled it in us a long time ago, to also have our own. So um, I was working. My sister also was working. Um, and then I remember my mom having good holidays. It was always holidays at our house. So we was always family oriented, especially when my great grandparents were alive. So we was always together every holiday and it was always at my mom's house. And it was just, you know, beautiful. Then I had a decent childhood. My uncles played a big role in my life also. They were kind of like the men around my mom and stuff since, we didn't have dads and stuff. So um, we had them, all around us and stuff to help my mom. So um, it's a decent upbringing. My father was in my life a little bit. I met him like when I was 10 years old, I want to say, through letters because my father was incarcerated my whole life. So I knew my father and got to know my father through letters and visits and stuff. So that's a little bit about my upbringing.
I love it. I love it. I love it, man. Shouts out to moms for instilling that. Um, Make sure you have your own in you because that is so necessary, man. There's so many people that get in situations to where either they roommates or just can't keep their own stuff together, so they kind of like move in with a woman or a man type deal, and it ends
Yeah.
up coming out real bad. So shouts out to moms for that one.
Yeah.
So I remember you speaking about your father.
Yeah.
Um, my man's did some time and got out, and then tell me how that was, that interaction, like getting out and connecting.
Um, like I said, my father was part of my life through letters and visits. I visited him when I was 14 years old. And then the next time I seen my father is when I started visiting him in my 30s. But it was plenty phone calls, plenty letters, cards, and everything back and forth throughout the years. I would also send him pictures and stuff because I also have, two daughters. So he would get family photos and stuff like that. But he was released back at the beginning of the pandemic in 2020. Um, like I said, he's been there my entire life. So my dad did 40 years straight. When he was released from prison, it was kind of hard because I knew him through letters and I knew him through just visiting him and talking to him. But it was like when he came home, it became kind of different. And I know it was at the beginning of the pandemic, so I didn't get to see him a lot. But then he moved here to where I live here in Rockford, and it was to be close to me, is what he was telling me. And throughout those couple of years, it just it seemed to be a lot of distance between me and my father because I was the one always reaching out, calling him, trying to, spend some time with him, get to know him, outside of prison. And it was just a lot of um, him being standoffish, him just avoiding me, ignoring me. So it got kind of hard for me, especially where I am right now in life, especially being in my 40s. And it's just like I really wanted that time to bond, with him. And I didn't get that. And not even only that, he just started another family. He got married right away. I wasn't a part of that. And then I wasn't getting acknowledged on my birthdays anymore, like how I used to be when he was in prison. I used to get cards every birthday or birthday gifts. I didn't receive that from him. So the relationship between me and my father kind of just faded away. Um, and it's just like now there's no acknowledgement there. I'm feeling a little bit of abandonment. And it hurts. It hurts a whole lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna be real. It does hurt because it's like we've known each other all these years through letters, through phone calls. I'm writing him. I'm writing the parole board, to show there's interaction with him while he's in prison. Like I thought we had something, and then you come out and I get nothing. And then that was the first I say heartbreak because your fathers can break your heart. You get out and you don't really acknowledge me. And then the second heartbreak, you get married right away, and we kind of talked about it. And then I wasn't invited to the wedding. That was two. And then, you just kind of like turn your back on me, So you know, I don't know why I've tried reaching out. And um, it was 2 years ago on my birthday, on my birthday, he told me that he felt like I wasn't his daughter, and he questioned another man, And he was just like, he had been feeling that way. And we had a deep conversation. And I said to him, well, if you've been feeling that way all this time, why didn't you say anything to me while you was in prison? Why you didn't say anything during the visits? Why now? And why did you do this to me on my birthday? You could have did this any other day. And he asked me,
Wow. That's
you know, have I ever questioned it? And I was like, no, because my mom never gave me a reason to. You know, if my mom had any idea that, it was another man possibly being my father, I'm pretty sure my mom would have told me. And so he gave me he gave me $500 for my birthday, and it was just like he walked out of my life. Like he just, here's a birthday gift in the envelope, and just walked away. So we left it as, I wanted to do a DNA test. So I was all for it. So I told him, I'm gonna set it up. Let's do a DNA test if you feel like I'm not your daughter, because I don't want you to feel a certain type of way, and you shying away from me and you ignoring me because now all of a sudden you think I'm not your daughter. And I asked him, I was like, is it somebody telling you that? So I started questioning it and asking him, somebody put this in your head, and my first thought was, maybe his wife, and I'm just going to be honest, she don't really know me, but we've talked about this situation several times, of how he's not paying attention, to the fact that, you have a daughter and I'm his only child. You have a daughter out here, bond with her. And I would think as a woman, if it was me and I married somebody that just got out of prison and I barely know him right now, he has a child, I'm going to tell him, you need to be in her life, you need to interact with her. This your only child, and, y'all have that relationship and stuff. And I didn't get that. So I questioned it to him, and it was just like he didn't want to answer any questions, or feel like he needed to, answer me. So I'm just like trying to figure it out. And then he suggested counseling, which I was all for. I've been in counseling before, and I told him this for several other things that I was dealing with in my life. So I was all for it. And that was our conversation. So he gave me the money, and he didn't talk to me. So back to the other man he questioned, which was my sister's father. I talked to him about it because I talked to him. He lives here also, and I was all for it. And I'm like, let's do a DNA test to prove to him that you're not my dad. So we got a DNA test done. Boop, we got the results back, not the father. Okay, so I sent those results to my dad, sent them to his wife. Nothing, not a response, not nothing at all. And according to her, she didn't even know that he did all of this. Didn't even
mm,
know that he said any of the stuff to me on my birthday, so that kinda hurt even more. And I'm like, "Where do I go from this situation?" Because I feel like, the stuff that I've been throughout my life, especially, dating the wrong type of men and stuff, it was just like, I haven't been in a relationship and for some time, and you've discussed that before. So, my dad coming into my life right now, me trying to build and have a relationship with him and where I'm at in life right now was perfect timing, to
mm,
kind of grow, and have that relationship, and him, if he's the person who he say he is now, to show me, what I'm saying, as a dad, just how you're supposed to be treated, and I would thought that he would have did that regardless of my age, but I didn't get none of that. So it was just like he broke my heart, like, wow, you, if it ain't been broken before, beside with these men out here, look what my dad just did. So it was just like, I have to put my big girl underwear on and figure out how I'm gonna navigate through this whole situation and not let it break me down, not let it, what I'm saying, let me fall off the face of the earth, go into a deep depression, and really be feeling the emotions and stuff that I was going through, which was being angry, maybe a little bit resentment and stuff. But all that stuff is gonna be normal because of what he did. So it was just like now it's like, I want to do counseling. I want to get a DNA test with my dad. I want to prove to him, if he is my dad, if you're not my dad, that's a different story. But, just to give him what he wanted. And all I can do is sit here and wait. And I left it up to him because I told him, when you're ready to do the DNA test, you know how to get a hold of me. When you ready, to go counseling, you know, we can do that. All of us, if you know what I'm saying, together as a whole, as a family, because I barely know this lady that he just married. I know she have children, and this is what I explained to him also. She has boys, sons, live in the same place where I live. I don't know them. What if I meet one of them? What if I start dating one of them? I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying, where my life is right now is good, but I don't want this whole situation to be something so toxic where I just have to block it all out, you know what I'm saying, from the dysfunction, because I really don't want to be a part of it. So yeah, it's hard, dealing with that, especially, as a child up until right now, as a grown woman, dealing with a father that's in prison and having to deal with all these things, and then him, come into my life and you do this. And it's just like, why did you even come into my life and just like
Yeah.
turn it upside down? And now you having me feel like, you shouldn't stay where you was at. And I don't want to say that. And I'm glad that he was out because my father wasn't supposed to get out. He had 10 years, he had life and then 10 plus years.
Mm,
But he got
mm,
out. Was praying for it, you know what I'm saying, as a girl up until they released him, like he's gonna get out one day. He's been doing things to show, you know what I'm saying, he could be back out here in society. And I was so happy for him when he got work release and stuff. So I was really, starting to visit him and yeah.
mm. I feel that love. First and foremost, I'm proud of you. You hear me?
Thank
You taking care of that like a big dog for sure, man. It's a lot of me personally in the same situation. I would have did exactly what you said you're trying not to do. I block everything when it's like when it get toxic for me. I just don't want to deal with it. I'm a very
you.
peaceful person. I go on my
Mhm,
way to respect people. I actually walk on eggshells around people to make sure I'm not being disrespectful. You know what I mean? So
mhm,
I don't expect it from nobody. I demand it. You know what I mean? So, shouts out to you for having that discipline. I feel like you need one of them old school Bow Wow hugs that "Let me hold you." You know, what I'm saying? I'm one of those, man. Motherfucking hug through the motherfucking camera, man. Cause that's serious, homie. All right,
mhm.
so and even if you don't mind me asking, what pops was locked up for, man? Cause 40 straight sound like he got at least 6 under his belt. I'm
Um,
talking bodies.
yeah, my father, he went to Milwaukee, and from what I was told, he had family there also. He went to Milwaukee, and he got into some trouble because he was told me he was in and out of group homes and fighting and stuff a lot, but he ended up doing a robbery with a friend, and it turned into a murder. So they both ended up getting time, and it seemed like he got more time because I believe the friend got out before he did. But yeah, he did a murder, and he served his time.
Pops was solid. My nigga ain't snitching. That's what that was. Okay. I did a little time. All right. So now, man, that's crazy because I was thinking, like you said, you were in the scene right now to where you're single and having that father figure, man, that would have been perfect. Like, man, that would be perfect time to bond, man. So dope.
Hmm.
Uh, unfortunately, but okay. So now, uh, where we at now with Miss Smith? Where are we at now? We in our 40s. We entrepreneuring. We outside. What's happening?
Yep, we are outside. Where I'm at right now, like I said, through the pandemic, my health has just been all over the place. Um, and it takes a lot of uh, faith
Fruit.
and praying because of the things that I've had to go through from the effects of having COVID is just horrible. But I kind of let it pull me back a little bit from a lot of stuff that I was doing because of my condition. And then I just decided where I wasn't just going to accept, where I was, and I had to do something about it, regardless of what the doctors were saying, even with all the meds that they had me on, because they took me off of meds over a year ago. I really didn't want to be on meds because of all the side effects and everything of different medications and stuff. So it was just like once I decided that I was gonna um, figure out if I was going to change, a lot of things that I was doing, like the eating and exercising more and trying different natural things. I went ahead and I did that. I was taking off the meds. So I just made a decision, like with my businesses and being an entrepreneur, I wanted to go ahead and continue doing what I was doing because I started them for a reason. It was to a point where I wanted to walk away from, everything and just not, be an entrepreneur and just work. But it's not in me because what I've built over the years, the blood, sweat, and tears, just thinking about it and then walking away. And then just if I walk away, I'm going to look back and be like, man, I wish I would have, could have. And I don't even want to do that. Like I came too far, to let stuff go. I've experienced so much as an entrepreneur over the past 10 years, dealing with bad business dealings, bad partnerships with people. I've experienced all of that. And it's like, I'm now recuperating from all of that. And I have to move wiser right now. I have to move smarter. I really have to watch, my environment of people that I'm around and who I'm dealing with. So, as far as my businesses, I'm rebranding Rolling with Shirley's egg rolls. My goal is still to go ahead and get a food truck. Um, I know some people have been, asking me, did I want to open a restaurant, and that's not in my future. My future was, truck because it gives me the ability to move around more, be open when I want, go, different places, which I like doing before because I've been in so many events when I started my business. Um,
Mhm.
and within that business, I've had some bad business dealings, so I had to clean some stuff up and still cleaning some stuff up, but it's okay. I'm not giving up. That's my baby right there. That's a
Mhm.
hundred different type of egg rolls right there. So my name is known, and I want to keep it like that. And it's named after my grandmother. So a lot of people know my story behind that business. Um, my nonprofit organization is still standing. Like I said, this is year 8 now, with it being this season coming into the winter. It's going to be my 8th coat giveaway. The coat drive ends next week. So, so far, over 100 coats have been collected,
Nice.
new and used. I have hats, I have gloves, I have some scarves, I have some boots. So, I'm about to get ready to come up with a few other things because right now, we have a lot of stuff going on with, the government. And I wanted to do the adopted family this year with the nonprofit organization, but I don't know how we're going to really put it together because I know it's hard right now for people buying groceries and buying stuff. And I still want to be able to give back some kind of way. So within the next week here, we're going to roll it out and um, decide how many families we're going to help. We're still going to go ahead and do it. It's just not going to be as many as we did last year. But the coat giveaway we are doing, this is the 8th one. So we have that. So I'm still just moving forward and not giving up, working my businesses. I also have a full-time job. So I work that too. Um,
Jamaican.
yeah, I don't know, Jamaican. I don't know if it's that. It's just me. I'm not the type of person to just sit around. I'm not the type of person to have my hand out all the time. I'll go and get it. And like I've been telling people, I can make. I'm trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, and I can do it. I've been doing it. Um, but just moving forward, I'm still the owner of my businesses. My businesses are still maintaining. As far as my egg roll business, I'm really working hard as far as rebranding. So I'm really trying to get it to where I can roll my business out and continue doing events in the community. And I want to do more events where it's more collaboration of people, like how they do at the city market, but like other places around the community. So I'm aiming to get it done after the first of the year. Um, and like I said, just daily. It's a daily learning experience for me as an entrepreneur. I can say, especially with the ups and downs, because it's not easy. People think, you become an entrepreneur. Oh, I can do this. and it be easy. And every day, you're gonna make some money. It's some days you're not gonna make no money. It's some days you're not gonna have people to help you. It's gonna be some days where some people won't support you. So you just gotta keep going, especially, if you believe that you have something and it's your passion, you just gotta keep going.
I love that a lot, man. Cause yeah, it's easy to get discouraged, to fall off. You know what I mean? You got to make sure you know your why. You got your why in front of you. You know what I mean? That'll keep you going.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's get into the to the parenting aspect
Hmm.
because we're both single parents
Yeah.
and we've had this conversation, but I would like for the people to hear. How is the relationship growing up being? Yeah, I say that. How was it just being a single mom in general? Not even speaking about relationships between anybody. How was just being a single mom in general? Like, what was your experience?
Being a single mom, it was challenging. Um, it was hard some days, but my mom, you know what I'm saying? I seen her um ups and downs. I seen her, take care of me and my sister the best way she know how. And it was to where my mom was like my inspiration when I thought about, me as a parent, but also, doing some things differently. Um, but um, I know for me, some days I think about as far as being a single mom. I mean, if whatever help that you have, embrace it. It may not even be from family. It could be from neighbors. It can be from somebody at the church. It can be from somebody at the gym or something that you see all the time. Whatever help that you have, embrace it because being a single parent, if you don't have no help, it is hard. I'm gonna
It
be
is
honest,
hard.
it's hard. It's hard. Daycares is hard for trying to get help, get them back and forth to school. Me personally, because I worked so much when my children were small, I worked a lot just so I can be able to provide for what they needed and, provide for us. So it was hard, having people to watch my kids or finding somebody to get them back and forth to pre-K and stuff, um, not really trying to really bash the fathers of my children. They was there when they was there. If they wasn't, they wasn't. When I think about, the wasn't, that just made me drive even more because I had to step up. If they was there, I had to, do more, you know, and it was just like, I don't know. Sometimes I get emotional thinking about it because I did a lot, you know, for my daughters just to show them, regardless if the father wasn't there, your mom's still here. I'm gonna love you the best way I can. I'm gonna take care of you the best way that I can. But I'm here. I was always present. I never left them by themselves. I never shoved them on people. I never, I wasn't one of them parents. I was heavily involved with my daughters. So,
Ask for their father growing up and stuff.
uh,
Did they used to ask for their father when they was growing up?
oh, yeah, at some points they did. They did. Um, the interaction with my oldest daughter's dad, he was there. He was more present. His family was more present in my daughter's lives. They was always in church every Sunday with the grandparents every Sunday. So, they was around. My other daughter's dad, he wasn't around, and he was not too much in her life. He's starting to be now. Um, so I let them have their relationship, how they have it. Um, but if it was a point, if they ever asked, I would always try to encourage, them to be, in their life. I wasn't one of the parents who were trying to make them be. Uh,
Mhm.
there were some things, I did then that I wish I didn't. Then, it's like one of them. I wish I knew what I know now, because
Mhm.
I was one of those immature parents. I will admit that I did some things that I shouldn't have. I probably did get on their nerves. I probably made it horrible some days. They probably didn't like me. you know,
Mhm.
so everybody go through their drama, and I definitely had it, but as the girls got older and we all got older and we started growing, it just seemed like all the petty stuff and the childishness started dying down. The kids started getting older, graduating, all that up until now. I'm gonna be a grandmother, so
Oh,
it's
nah, big dog.
so it's just like, everybody's grown up
Looking
and
35, finna be a grandma.
yes, finally gonna be a grandma. But it's just like now everything's more at peace. It's smooth. Everybody had their relationships, how they had their relationships. Like it's more better now than it was then as far as, the co-parenting, they got their dads, they can talk to them how they want to talk to them. I don't have to report, anything, like, as like they were little or anything like that. If it was something emergency or bad or anything like that, I know how to get a hold of both of them and let them know. I let them know about important events, so I don't try to, leave them out as far as that. But I mean, co-parenting right now is great.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm hoping. Oh, I hope we get there. God damn, hope we get there, man. Nah, just like you said, man, you wasn't a parent to like force them or anything. I don't want to bash my kid's mother as well, but I've been through that period to where I was forcing her to babysit on the weekends while I work, and I was driving from from the suburbs to Rockford to drop my daughter off on the weekend.
Yeah,
And because I'm living in by the suburbs and stuff, then every Friday night I drive out there, drop her off, come back Sunday because I ain't got no babysitter out here, and it was really forceful. And yeah, that's not fun. It's not fun for anybody. You know what I mean,
it's not.
so for you guys to be able to work it out is well at this point in time in life, it's amazing. So I'm looking forward to that because my babies definitely need their moms, Joe. They need her. 'Cause
Yeah,
my kids gonna be real niggas fucking with me. Do you hear me? My babies, they learning some real niggerish tactics around this motherfucker. Yeah.
my God,
Uh, but
that's
you
me.
know, no, but I asked that question though. Do they ask for their dad? Because my daughter always asks for her mom every day. That's her favorite person actually, and I encourage her. 'Cause I was gonna ask you if they when they say that, what do you say to them? But I encourage you, just keep loving your mom. When things get better, it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Man, trust me,
Mhm.
daddy trying. Shit, I mean, can't really like make anybody do anything. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, I get it because I mean, just from learning experience, I mean, you really um have to be mindful of how you speak of the other parent around the child
mhm,
that y'all have together, regardless of what you're going through. Because I've know some of the mistakes that I've made in the past of things that I've said about my kids' fathers, and probably around them, or they heard me saying it to somebody else. You know, um, I wish I could take it back, but I can't. But it's a learning experience for me to tell them this now, especially if they're gonna have kids. Okay, regardless of how they feel about the other person, especially if they're not together. Um, just be mindful of how you speak of each other because those kids can pick it up, and you don't want your other child feeling a certain way about the other parent. Let them have their own experience on their own. Just like with me, and I'm glad we're talking about this. Just like with me, or with my relationship with my dad. Like my mom, she didn't have me around my dad's family at all. She, accepted the fact that he did what he did, but he was 16 when she had me, and he did what he did. So it was like he left her, you know what I'm saying, with a baby. And then she lose her mom a year later. So my mom been through some things and I've been through it right along with her. And she had to go through all that grief, and it was like, I had to go through all of everything my mom had to go through. So it was just like when it came to the point when she told me about my dad and I was older at the time, you know, he didn't say, like, "I didn't want you talking to your dad," and stuff like that, or, when he called and he write letters and stuff like that, she would let me talk to him on the phone, and he calling from prison. Some parents don't have to do that. Some parent be like, "Oh, he in jail. You ain't talking to your child," or, "No, you can't write your child. No, I'm not bringing visitors," and completely shut you out, and y'all don't there's nothing there. My mom didn't do any of that. She allowed it to happen. the letters and everything. And then as I got older, I started going to visit all on my own. So I got my own view of my dad on my own, not what somebody else said, not what my mom said, not people out here on the street who knew what he did. I didn't let that stop me from having the relationship that I was still trying to have with my dad while he was in prison, knowing what he did and me being his only child. And then, he comes from a big family, and to not have that support and not, even have your mom and dad and his mom and dad, he lost his mom and dad while he was in prison,
Mhm.
So it was just like I was there. I was there because I wanted to be. So she never one of those parents be like, I didn't want you, around your dad. My mom never did that. So, and I didn't do that, with my kids, but it was just certain situations where I can remember there's things that was said. You can't make somebody be in your child's life. They only gonna want to be there if they want to be. So, if they didn't want to be there, that was, it was like that's fine. I'm still gonna be there. It's still my responsibility, to still take care of them.
Absolutely. I love that. That's amazing, man. Yeah, that's I couldn't imagine that. My father, he wasn't he wasn't there in my teenage and most of my adult life. He's amazing now though. My pops is real dope. But I couldn't imagine trying to want somebody to be there and finally it happens and then it just get pulled away. You know what I mean? Um you definitely an OG, triple OG for this one, homie. For sure, for sure. Definitely you're not wearing it on you. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. You're not wearing it on you. So
Mhm,
that's real dope. That's inspiring within itself because I'm sure there's plenty of people that's in the same situation. Maybe it's just not a dad, maybe it's a brother, it's a sister, or whatever, and they're listening, and I'm sure they can relate. You know what I mean? Don't do my method. Don't do the cutoff method. Don't do that because
mhm,
I know personally it's toxic for myself. Like there's no closure or anything. So in that just simultaneously just be bringing up old memories of people and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like wishing like, damn, it could have been this way, it could have been that way, but I've
mhm,
already made the decision to never talk to you again. You know what I
mhm,
mean? So I feel that, man. Feel that. But I don't know, man. It's real dope though. Like it's real dope. Ever since I met you, homie, you've been outside grinding, man, with your head strong. You know what I mean? And, been one of the most authentic, original people. Ain't switched up, ain't changed up. You heard me? Still the same person. You know what I mean? I have to be telling people all this time. I was in a situation where I needed some interview clothes. Hey, the homie pulled up with clothes in her trunk, dog. With clothes in the trunk. I got suits, blazers, and shit out the trunk of a car. So I can go to this interview, man. Like that's real dope, man. So even just speaking of that, we got the I think King Musa. I'm not sure if you know who that is, but
mhm,
he a part of some foundation to where they're looking for organizations to do food drives
mhm,
because of what's going on right now.
mhm.
I'm loving the collective spirit of what's going on when people are coming together to help.
Yeah.
Um, this non-EBT thing it can be a gift and a curse right now.
Yes.
Um, the gift is is community like a motherfucker. That ain't even a word. Made it a word. Community is really coming together, and that's really fucking dope. And I hope we stay like that. I hope that the food stamps don't get cut on and everybody go back to their, other lives or whatever. Because this only showing that if you let me feed you, I can starve you. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, I did a podcast session earlier, and I was saying if I was the person to grow just collard greens in my backyard, I'm a master at growing collard greens. The motherfucker next door to me a master at growing tomatoes. The person after that, you know what I'm saying? Like if everybody can find a way to do for self and we could trade with each other, we wouldn't even have to worry about this shit. It wouldn't even be on nobody's mind. You know what I mean? I'm sure it'd be a lot harder for the meat eaters, whatever, because you gotta take care of chickens, cows, and all that stuff though. But I'm sure when there's a will, there's a way. You know what I mean? Like collectively. So um I'm hoping, like I said, that it just keeps growing and keeps going, and I hope nobody stops this shit. I'm trying to find ways that I can help, than with how limited I am. Like I'm thinking about calling the food banks in my area to see if I can go volunteer and hand out stand stuff out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, man. So what about you though? What's your take on these EBTs? What's happening right now, man?
I feel the same way, and I don't like it. I really don't. I don't even get linked. First of all, myself, but
Hmm.
it was good to have it to rely on when you needed it. You know what I'm saying? When you're not working, when you have some children and stuff at home, but it's just like you said, if they can take it away and it be like this, it's just I think of it as it's just like a controlling thing. Like look how the pandemic was. Look how it was. COVID out. The COVID came out here. Then y'all came out here with all these different I don't even know what you want to call it. Y'all want us to put some stuff in our body to help us, you know what I'm saying, fight the COVID and stuff. And saying if we don't, you basically gonna die. And then you got people running to go do it. How y'all know, you know what I'm saying? And me included, because I only did one shot. And after that one shot, and it made me sick, I wasn't putting it in my body anymore. Considering after the first time I had it, I took the shot and then turn around and now I've had COVID 5 times now. What was the purpose of even putting the shot in my body? Because to me, that's just like y'all want us to put something in our body. How we know 10 years later we don't grow something extra from something that y'all told us to put in our body? How do you know that that ain't affecting us later on down the line? I'm not putting nothing else in my body that these people will want us to. You hear what I said? I had COVID 5 times. There's a lot of
There's
people.
been oh my bad, love. I'm gonna say, it's been over 500,000 deaths just with one company that gave up them shots. That's just one company. You know what I'm saying? For over 500,000 fucking deaths. So my man's Bill Gates went on. I don't know if we seen this. I don't know if they took it down on YouTube. I think they did take it down on YouTube, but he did a TED talk. I'm paraphrasing, but this is almost word from word. Too many people on the planet. If we can cut that down by a third, we'll be okay. What the fuck does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Did he just not say, "Hey, we gonna kill some niggas"? And like a couple years after that COVID came.
Crazy.
Uh, but I'm one of the people. I wouldn't necessarily say a conspiracy theory person, because some conspiracies got some truth to it, or they wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? Um, but I have my ear to shit like that for a long time. I knew something like that was going to happen years before it happened. Because you literally do got insiders that's whistleblowers and shit that will say that shit. But the average person wouldn't think of that shit or even like, you know what I'm saying, take it in because they think it's like some bullshit, some mumbo jumbo, some misinformation. Then all of a sudden, bam, that shit's really happening. But I remember AIDS. You know what I'm saying? I remember fucking syphilis. Like y'all got us with that shit already. Like, did you know chicken pox? You remember they used to give us chicken pox, right?
I don't know about giving it to us, but I remember chicken pox was heavy then. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I guarantee you, you got me by a couple years. You got injected with chicken pox when you was younger,
yeah,
for sure.
but I never had it though.
You know what that was?
Hmm.
Another form of herpes. Fucked up. Why are you putting that in me as a baby?
And
Why
it's
are you
and
doing that?
and it be then you be and then they don't understand. Well, they should understand why some people be like, my child is not getting vaccinated. A lot of people don't want to vaccinate their children,
I don't play that shit.
and then
I go to the doctor and get them notes every time.
have to fight the schools because they want your kids vaccinated before they come to the school, and then people are forced to or want to homeschool their kids.
Hmm.
But it's just I don't know. But back to what you asked. I mean, I have been pulled. I've been tugged at already. I have as far as what's going on and giving back to the community. I am actually cooking some stuff for a food drive. Giving some stuff away for a drive. Um, I've had two handfuls of people reach out to me to give back. So I'm gonna try to do the best that I can within this month considering the holidays is coming and it's hard and it's rough for everybody right now. It is. I'm gonna be giving back some way or somehow. Like I said, I'm gonna be cooking, giving away some things. I'm gonna try to devote some of my time. But like I said, I have a grandchild on the way, so that's my main focus, making sure my daughter has smooth delivery. Um, but she's expected to deliver after Thanksgiving, so we will see. But
Could happen right now. Okay, nice.
I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm really trying to just within the next 2 months just give back because this time of the year I like doing stuff like this. You know, I'm heavily involved with something throughout the year. But this season, like right now, and especially what's going on, everybody should be trying to give back some way, somehow. If you're not volunteering somewhere, if you're not maybe organizing something to give back, I mean, everybody should be doing something. And I had made a post, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, and I said something about this, like, you know, we have pantries and stuff around here, but it was some of the pantries was closed down. I want to say a week ago, I guess, maybe because they ran out of food or something, so they were waiting for more food. And it's to the point now where have I heard? I don't know if I've heard that before or wasn't paying attention, but I've never heard it. I'm like the pantries ran completely out of food, so you have to shut it down, the pantries, and get more donations of food to give to the people. So it's just like that's kind of rough right now what everybody is going through. So we have all these churches that's here in the community. Some of them do give back already before this. Some of them do have pantries, but the ones that don't give back, the ones that don't have pantries, could be forming something right now. Every church could be forming some kind of drive where they can give back, get all your people together in your church, y'all form, you know, come up with some kind of plan to give back to the community, or maybe possibly, you know, some of these churches, you know, to can get things in order to start a pantry, so it can be more pantries given back. I'm not sure of the process. I've seen some people start pantries, so I'm sure you just have to have your paperwork and your ducks in a row, which shouldn't be too hard, and start pantries, you know, and actually keep the pantries because it would be nice if we had a lot of churches around here with pantries besides the ones, you know, the main ones that we've been having over the years. Why not start other pantries? We have other churches. We have big churches, small churches. Like a lot of them could be giving back more. But that's just me, you know. It's just a thought.
I
Because
love that. No, that's
if I had my own church, y'all, let's put together, you know, something to give back to the community, like a community food drive, or let's start a pantry where people could start coming here and getting food.
that's a fact. I love that. I'm hoping, on top of that, it'd be dope to have like growth centers. You know what I mean? Like people just universally to start teaching people how to grow inside the house. I just cleaned my entire empty my kitchen out. I'm thinking about starting to grow food in my kitchen because I'm mainly fruits and vegetables. You know what I mean? So why the
Mm,
fuck not? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that's why not. I'm sure I can put together like a hydroponic tower. Only thing I hate about that is you can see these damn plants and shit. I got about 60 of these motherfuckers in the crib. Gnats are a problem. You hear me?
Yes.
The motherfuckers a problem, son. There's been a couple flying around. Hope y'all seen the pictures on the screen. These gnats is a problem, son. Especially after they die down when the winter time and stuff coming, or whatever. But having the door open in and out and shit, you know what I'm saying? Kids running in and out and shit during the summertime and shit. They just
Mm,
mosey their ass right on in here, find a spot, and set up shop, man.
mm.
So I was actually just bleaching my whole damn house down today, trying to get rid of these motherfuckers. I do that. I gotta do that shit at least once a week. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure I cover everything. But yeah. But anyway, so we got the somewhat of the before I even say that, ma'am, what's up with the ebook or recipe book? You have 100 mother loving egg rolls. So right now, I'm working with somebody to put together an ebook on just me being a full time father. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean, just other resources and stuff that I can put together, my experience. You know what I mean? But you have over 100 egg rolls. Um, and just what's crazy about that is I know this. Like this information I am very, very well aware of, but I just thought about it. How do you come up with 50 goddamn different egg rolls recipe, let alone 100? What was your motivation?
That was at the beginning of the pandemic. And I had got fired from my job. That's where I had started selling the egg rolls because I was bringing them to work. I was cooking them already at home, but I started bringing them to work. People was want to taste my food, and they knew I was making them. Then they started asking them, so I started charging for them. And as they were eating them, some of them started throwing different ideas at me of different type of egg rolls. I've had some egg rolls around here from people who was already selling them, and they had certain type of egg rolls. So when I started rolling with Shirley's egg rolls, um, I'm like, okay, I want to continue to keep doing these egg rolls. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start this business since I got fired from my job. Some of my clientele was there. Everybody else was starting businesses. So, I already was linked up with people in the community, so if I needed to find out information to get where I needed to get as far as business wise, I knew who to go to. So I was doing all of that. But the motivation at that time was actually losing the job and when my father ran off and got married. I'm just gonna be honest. I was like, wow, I didn't get invited to the wedding. And how I found out about it was a cousin told me on my dad's side on Facebook. And I'm like, what? So he really actually went and did it. So I went on her page and something told me go look. And that was just like I remember that day. It was like the little worst little feeling in my heart. My little heart was broken. I seen seven different wedding pictures of him and her, and then a couple other family members. And so I was starting to feel angry, like I didn't get invited, but it was other people. And I'm your only child. So it was just like that, the job. And I'm just like, you know what? I was like, okay, I got this. I'm just gonna go ahead and put, you know what I'm saying, my business plan, try to get it all together and try to figure out, how I'm gonna start this business because he knew about it too. Also, actually, too, before he actually moved here to Rockford, when I went to visit him, when he actually was released from prison, he was living in Milwaukee. I took some egg rolls to him, so he tasted them, and I was telling him my idea and everything, and he was all for supporting and everything and stuff. So at that time, it was just like, he did that. I was hurt, and it was just like, well, I'm gonna continue out. I'm gonna continue my dream of what I wanted to do was start this business with these many different egg rolls, regardless, of me losing his job, regardless of my dad, acting like I don't exist. I'm gonna show you that I still can, you know what I'm saying, make it, whether you want to be in my life or not, you know like I said, he knew everything that I was planning on doing, and it was just like he wasn't, really there to experience that with me, but it didn't stop me. You see
Oh,
what?
wow.
And that was in 2020. All that happened just that year. Like I was literally hurt. So I'm like, forget this. I literally was like, I'm going to get my business license. I went and got my food managers. I'm sitting here by my certificates and stuff. I went and got my manager, I went and handled my business regardless. So that was my motivation at the time. I'm going to show you, I'm going to continue, what I'm saying, to be Shaneka and figure it out, not let nothing, what I'm saying, bring me down. That was that quick
Love
motivation
it.
at the time.
I
Um,
fucking love it, man. Yes, ma'am. Big dog for sure. Okay. I heard that, man. I heard that. That's that'll put some fire in your ass. For
it,
sure. For
and it
sure.
off, and it was just like, whatever. And sporadically, he was trying to be there on and off until it was just completely off, But like I said, you should have been honest from the beginning because I don't need you to be like these men out here and manipulate me and stuff like that. Talk to me, open your mouth, speak to me, don't shut me out. I know you've been gone a long time. I don't know if you feel like I can't be a parent or dad, whatever the case may be. But my biggest thing is communication, even with my dad, not just with people in my life, even with my dad. Communicate with me, talk to me. I'm a grown woman. I'm a big girl. Talk to me. And I didn't get that. But the ebook on egg rolls, gave you all my egg roll recipes. But I did a year ago, I did start working on a cookbook. I have some recipes. I had 20 recipes. I started out with 20 recipes. They have pictures, all that. I'll share some with you on the side and show you. I had started a cookbook and I wanted to have it where it was, certain things that I cooked and then, have people buy it and look at some of the things that I like making, and just kind of put more of me in it because I wanted to put pictures and stuff, of me and stuff like that I like to do in the cookbook. So it was more of, food. And, this is like, Shaneka, she likes to cook because I've been, even before my businesses, I was always cooking. People know that I've been cooking forever. But it was just, at the time, what I was feeling was, I'm going to start some different things, because I always got my hands dipped in something. So I wanted to start the cookbook, but not just with putting, all my egg rolls. It was different foods. I do have one egg roll recipe in there, and it's not the strawberry cheesecake egg rolls. It's not that one. But
I can't get that.
no, no, but I do have other recipes. But I had pulled back from it because I had two deaths in my family. So it was just like in the midst of me working on stuff and that happening at the beginning of the year and then the end of the year, it just kind of pulled me back from a lot of stuff and going through the grief. So I had to go through all that stuff with my dad and then experience, some really important people in my life that I lost last year was my grandpa, who was heavily in my life. Um, since I was born, and he was another man that was in my life. Because my grandpa was around a lot, helping my mom a lot. Because my mom, probably gonna kill me for saying this, my mom didn't learn how to drive until she was 30. So she was always catching the bus, or my grandpa was always there giving us a ride wherever we needed to go. My grandpa was he was giving everybody a ride up until he passed away. Like if we needed something, he would get in the car and drive, always driving. But he always drove her everywhere until she learned how to drive. So it was just like my grandpa played a big role in my life. And then my great aunt, which was my grandmother's sister, she was the last sister um, living, and she passed away last year. So it was just like I was dealing with that, just coming out of that. And that was that was like a dark moment last year for me because them people meant a lot. And as I started coming out of it, it was like, I'm ready to dive back into, my businesses more and finish quite a few things that I started that I didn't finish because I don't want to start, anything else new right now in my life until I finish the stuff that I started, especially within the last couple of years. And the cookbook is one because I did start some more recipes. So now I'm at 37 recipes. I'm trying to make it to 50. That should be enough. Average cookbook should at least have like 70 recipes, 70 or 75, something like that. But 20 recipes wasn't just enough. I didn't want it to be like too thin. So I'm like, I want to go ahead and add some more in there. But I did those. And then from there, I do want to get it published. So then that's where the people around me that I met can just sprinkle some of that stuff on me that has some published books out here to get me to where Shanika will have her published cookbook, and then you'll have that. But yeah, you can't have all my egg roll recipes.
I heard that before. I
Yeah,
heard that.
but how I came up with them, it was just people telling me and things.
You cutting out, love.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, people were just telling me about different foods and stuff, to try. And I tried it out. And then I don't know, I was just playing around, looking around on TikTok and looking around on Facebook and looking at different other states where other egg rolls was being made. And I mean, as you can see, I was just throwing them out there. I don't know, just trying them out in each one. I'm like, can I change something in the recipe? Can I change the seasoning? Can I change the meat? Can I make this turkey instead of pork? So I don't know. And and the reason I did it, the reason I wanted to do this business like this is because um, I wanted people to get an experience of having egg rolls for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert. I have the breakfast bowl egg rolls, the dessert egg rolls, and you get, for lunch and for dinner. So it was different foods, that you regularly eat, but you can also have inside an egg roll. It might be missing some ingredients. It might be some ingredients added, but I mean, they like them. So,
I love it.
and they'll tell me if they won't like it. I know what egg rolls is selling. I know what egg rolls is not. And in the middle of the middle of me rebranding right now, I am taking some egg rolls off of the menu and I'm adding some that I have already had, taste testers try that I want to put on there and then pull some off that really aren't selling. So, but the strawberry cheesecake is not going anywhere.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, ma'am. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I pulled up on you. Let me try that joint. Um, yeah, 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 yeah. Fine.
That was
I can't fuck with them now because I don't do the dairy. But yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was the first
Yeah, I get
dessert I rolled out in 2020, and I don't even remember how I came up with it. And it just rolled around in my memories on Facebook. And I seen the first strawberry cheesecake egg roll that I had made, and I looked at it, and I'm like, they don't even, I don't even make it like I done
you.
mastered. When I first started in rolling them and trying to, figure out how to keep certain ingredients and stuff in there, it was just like they don't look like that no more. I've gotten better at it. I might have added some things, but yeah, the strawberry cheesecake egg rolls, yeah. Rolling with Shirley's egg rolls, the home of the strawberry cheesecake egg rolls.
You heard me? Yeah, me. I love that, man. You definitely get to a point to where you know your business to where like if somebody asks you, hey, what do you do? You don't hesitate. You know what I'm saying? I'm coaching these kids on Saturdays. I do this little class and I'm teaching them how to like customize clothes and I taught them how to open up how to create a website. Was it last Saturday? Yeah. I taught them how to create a website to put their personal items on it and print on demand items or whatever. And I was asking him, I was like, "What's your purpose? Like, what's your why? Why you want to do this?" And pause it. And I had let him know you need a 90-second pitch. Like somebody asks you, you go right in. You know what I'm saying? So where you ended that with rolling with Shirley's home with the cheesecake egg roll, right into it. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know you outside. I love that. Yeah, man.
And then the
But
look on faces when I tell them that, and they be like, "What? You said how many? What?" I be like, 100 different egg rolls. How is that even possible? Oh, it's possible. Just look at the menu.
hmm
It's possible.
hmm
I wanted, and I did it because I wanted my business to stand out not only for because I did it in my grandmother's name, and it was just being different. Anybody can make an egg roll, and I'll tell you this. It's other people around here making egg rolls. Anybody can make an egg roll. Anybody can do this. But it's also you got to look at what makes your business stand out, and if you have something where it stands out, then you know you got something. I'm not trying to say you got something good because when I started it, it started out as I want to say 25 or 50. It was 50 when I was writing it out, and I had wrote on a piece of paper one day when I was at the job, and I'm like, I want to do these different type of egg rolls, and I want to say it started out to 25, then it was 50, then I want to say 70 or 75. And I'm like, okay, I want to go past 100. So I'm like, this business can sell 100 different type of egg rolls with these different ingredients in it. So I have an egg roll business. So I got the turkey, different type of turkey egg rolls, different type of beef egg rolls, different type of steak egg rolls, different type of chicken egg rolls, different type of veggie egg rolls, specialty egg rolls, dessert egg rolls. I was on it, so I was playing around with different things and rolling with Shirley. So
Mm,
these are different egg rolls.
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. All right, Garrett. I ain't gonna hold you, man. We about an hour in this joint. We can talk all day, man.
Oh,
But
yeah,
you hear me? If you could, I got one more question. If you could go back and tell your 18-year-old self, what advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
I would say love yourself.
Hmm.
Love yourself. Don't let nobody discourage you. Um, and also uh, put God first.
Hmm. Come
Because
on now.
I grew up in church. I did grow up in church with family. And of course, I strayed away. And like I said, my daughters is in church and every Sunday with their grandparents. And of course, they strayed away, and I'm back in church because I ran back to church, ran back after everything that I've been through. I had to go back for all the stuff, you know what I'm saying, that I was dealing with. And this could be a whole nother segment, of where I am, what got me to where I am after everything that I've been through. That was another part, getting back into church. I would say put God first, because if you was in church and straight away, you can always go back. But if you haven't been, you can go. Um, because you always want to put God before anything. And at that time, at 18, I wasn't thinking about church. I wasn't thinking about God, nothing like that. I was thinking about partying, smoking, kicking it. Yeah, I was, a mom, but I wanted to be grown at that age, and you're not grown at that age.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Else I would tell my 18-year-old self, you're not grown.
Hmm. You think he is? You
You
ain't
think
grown.
you really think that you are, but you're not. But yeah, love yourself and put God first.
I love that. I love that. But there
Mhm.
y'all have it, man. From Big Dog herself. I cannot say thank you enough. For just being you. You hear me? Just
There-
being you, love.
I'm definitely going to be. Ain't no other way.
It's a couple different ways now. Halloween just passed. Nah, I'm stop. You could be a couple days ago. You could be who you want. God damn it.
Yeah,
Shit.
you can be. I didn't participate in dressing up or anything like that, but I did some pumpkins and stuff. So yeah, did a little bit of that
Yeah.
there, but not much. But yeah, thank you though. Thank you so much for having me.
No, for sure, love. Appreciate it. And to the fathers, man. What's up, y'all? Yeah, same spill. Same. I'm gonna say the same thing I said last episode. I'm gonna say the same thing on the next episode. Uh, you don't, don't, don't beat yourself up to where you are in your journey as of right now. If it's been a long time since you've seen your kids, if it's been, maybe a year or two, or even a couple days, whatever the case may be, try your best to be active, man. Just be present. Kids remember presence over presence. I I'm using that every time. Definitely just drop the bar, y'all ass. You hear me? But no, for real, man. I encourage all fathers to be active, man. We're not judging. I wake up with my kids on a regular basis, just us, and it's a lot of days I'm not at 100% for them. You know what I mean? And it's okay for me to be like, hey, y'all, I'm gonna chill out. I'm take some personal time, get myself together. You know what I mean? Um, don't let nobody make you feel bad for taking time out. Make sure your mental health is okay, because if you take care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody.
That's right.
Full time father podcast. Miss Smith, stay on. I'm in the recording, but just stay on, love. Full time father podcast. There is no love like all love. We appreciate y'all. I do have 3 episodes recorded in the last couple days, so I'm gonna get back to dropping my clips and stuff leading up to the episodes and things. So, you know what I mean. I appreciate y'all being patient. Love y'all, man.